Hey doodlers, how you doing? It's quite a warm day today. A bit hot, I think I've over-jumpered myself. Today we're going to be talking about angles. When it comes to drawing, there are so many different ways to draw a character. We can get a very high dramatic angle like this, how we can get a very low dramatic angle like that. A behind angle like that. Hello, a little friend's come to say hello. Has anyone seen my nuts? I'm sure my nuts are around here somewhere. Has anyone seen them? Have you seen them? Strange man with the camera, have you seen my nuts? Ah, maybe they're over here. Bye. We've got to think of a piece of paper as a bit like a camera. Okay, we can move it around to get different angles to get the most from our drawings. So let's get back to the drawing board. Let's get doodling. Yeah, I took his nuts. I took them all right, they were delicious. So we are back at the drawing board now, and we've got a little drawing of a squirrel. We have got just a circle head, really simple, then a rectangle body, and a big bushy tail. And we're going to draw this from 3 different angles. We're going to do sort of from behind, looking over the shoulder, from underneath, so we get sort of a really kind of dramatic look at his angry face. You can't find his nuts, poor thing. And then we're going to do it from the side, sort of from the side and kind of coming down above. There we go. So here's the sort of 3 angles: behind, below, and from the side. So these are going to be, imagine that's the sort of 3D model, and we're going to move around it. Now I've done a couple of little sketches underneath that you might be able to see, just some really quick ones, faint ones that I'm going to now work over the top, so you get a better idea of what it's going to look like. So this one is looking from underneath. So we want sort of plenty of the face, plenty of the chin. If we imagine the sort of head as a ball rather than just a circle, we're kind of looking underneath. So we've got the nose at the top, the eyes at the top, and plenty of that kind of grumpy looking mouth. And then little arms on the hips and little feet. And let's do the big bushy tail. Let's rub that line out. I've bushed his tail. So there we go, we can sort of see it's coming from underneath. Let's do a few little stalks of grass. And chin. There we go, and that's the kind of angle we're looking from. So you'll see how sort of on that one the body comes out, so the sort of the bottom of the rectangle is a lot wider. It helps kind of emphasise the angles. And this one too, you can see the little guidelines I've drawn on the head, so you can see where the eyes and nose are going to be. So again, there, just moved those eyes and nose right down a bit. Let's do his little legs and the tail. So this is coming from the side and below. I'm keeping these drawings black and white just to keep things simple, otherwise we might run out of time. But we can mess around with the shadows underneath the head and on the side of the body, kind of to make it a little bit more dramatic. We'll mess around with the shadows in a bit. Let's get this third one done. So this is from behind and the side, kind of looking over his shoulder. So if you were going to draw this drawing, it might be if he's looking for his nuts and he's kind of got a big open space in front of him. So yeah, let's carry on with this shading. Let's put the shading underneath. Again, this can kind of help exaggerate the angles when you put in the shading and shadows and the ground and things like that. And I'm going to add some shadow underneath. Let's zoom in a bit. There we go. Got shadow underneath. So you can sort of, it helps kind of place everything on the paper, so you can see, oh okay, that's where the shadow is, that's where the head is, that's where the kind of angle of the sun's coming down. Kind of all these things really sort of help add to your drawing when you are messing around with angles and things like that. Let's do his ears. I'm not going to do too much detail. Little angry eyes, little angry eyebrows. I should say he wasn't actually an angry squirrel. He seemed a very nice squirrel. But in my head I sort of cartoonified him. Made him a bit more human. But that's, you know, one of the things that's great about drawing and great about illustration is you can draw something in loads of different ways. So I can take a sort of squirrel and make him look quite cartoony, like this. If I wanted to do it really realistically, you could do it like that, or stylized. There's so many different ways to kind of draw an animal or a character, as we sort of discovered last week. Let's throw out any of those lines I don't want. Let's add some more detail down the side here, so we can see where, rather than kind of drawing a complete circle, drawing a complete head, we don't want to see that, because as you're looking from underneath like this, you don't see those kind of lines that if you're pointing your head down. So again, looking in a mirror, getting a phone, moving it around, seeing what that might look like, you know, from different angles. You don't have to draw a squirrel. You don't have to draw. You can draw anything you like. You can draw one of your pets. You can draw a character you've made up, a human character. Let's do this one from behind. It's quite difficult drawing something from behind because you lose a lot of detail. So obviously you can't see the face, so you can't see if he's annoyed or anything like that, which is why something like those arms, kind of on hands on the hips, is a really good way of kind of showing someone's annoyed or a character's annoyed. It kind of all helps. So when you can't see the face, you can look at the body and kind of go, how do I make this character look like he's really annoyed? Let's put some shading on the bushy tail. Get rid of any lines we don't want. A few of you have been asking where Hubbington is. He hasn't appeared in any videos since his starring role as Doodle Dog. He's fine. I just haven't been out and about with him when I've had my camera, when I've been making these videos. But I'm sure he'll make an appearance very soon. Maybe even as Doodle Dog. Just add some little grass underneath. Again, it kind of helps to add weight and things like that. I'm going to add a bit of shadow. I quite often do this if I'm doing a couple of drawings at once, 2 or 3 drawings at once. I don't necessarily draw one thing and get it neat and perfect. I might do a bit of this and then move on to another drawing, because it can really help actually if you're doing some drawing and then you kind of take a break and come back, have a look at it. So doing 3 drawings like this, you're sort of flitting between the 3, so you're kind of building them up at the same time. So let me just add a few more details, a few more bit of shading on top of this head. It's starting to look pretty good. So there we go. That's the one from below. That's the one from kind of the side and down below, and that's the one from behind. By moving the character around, it gives life to your drawings, and it can make it can be a really good way of bringing more story to your characters, more drama. So have a little think about that next time you're drawing, next time you're doodling. Is this the best way to draw it? Can I draw it from a different angle, move it around? But in the meantime, happy doodling, and I'll see you very soon on Doodle Do It.